Hi, welcome to Get Personal with Finance, and in the spirit of Financial Literacy Month, I want to share with you something I've created, and it's the PI Formula that will empower you to learn and master your finances. So let's get started. So what I want with this video is I want to create a movement, if that's possible, or please share this video as many people as you like about this PI formula. And so let's break this PI formula down. So PI, it's not, it's kind of a play on words. It's similar to, PI that we all learned in school, right? But PI is spelled out. So there's P, there's I, and then there's actually a 3, right? So how the formula is broken up is P plus I to the power of 3. So what does it all mean, right? So the P is what? So when it comes to learning about personal finance or to master your personal finances, the first thing you need to do is what? Pay yourself first, right? So we talk about that a lot in this channel, and I cannot beat it, enough to get you to understand that. As a college student, we are starting off, and we need to make sure that we center ourself and our finances and know that we're the one that's driving our finances. And for us to do that, we need to see ourselves as a growth company, a startup company, our very own best investment, right? All in one. And so it's really important that we always think about, okay, how do I pay myself first? And what I mean by that is, how do I save when I buy this? If I can buy this for less, like instead of new books, I would buy used books. Instead of, taking these classes, I can take some of them into community college, right, to save. Let's find scholarships for me to pay for some of my expenses in college, etc., right? And so paying ourselves first is really important. There's a book, I'm gonna butcher the name, but The Richest Man in Babylon, or The Richest Person in Babylon. Anyway, it's a really important book. That book, it's a really thick book, but basically, in essence, the core of it all is that you got to pay yourself first, right? You cannot have anything if you don't ever save, right? And part of saving is, understand this, it's saving towards something, right? Saving towards that thing that you want to acquire, right? That asset. Saving towards so you can get that certification, so you can get that equipment, so you can better yourself and acquire new skills, add more value to your brand, etc., etc. So saving, we're not talking saving for the sake of saving, is you're saving towards something. Saving so you're prepared, so when opportunity presents itself, right? That's the definition of luck. So your preparation meets opportunity, there you go, right? Versus you don't have any savings or you never prepared yourself. That's another way of saving, preparing. If you never prepare yourself financially, experience-wise, knowledge, having the skill set, and then the opportunity presents itself, you can't take it on. So, I have enough of that in my life where I take preparation and learning very seriously. That's why I'm very obsessed about learning, bettering myself all the time, trying to get better. So the number one thing, a part of that formula, the P, is pay yourself first, right? That is so important. So you take the P and then you got to plus it with the I. And let's talk about the I. The I is investing, right, to the power of 3. There's 3 things that you need to invest in, right? Part of this formula, to make it easier for you to understand, is pay yourself first and then invest. There's 3 parts to the I. The first part is what? Investing in, if you were to guess, if you're going to spend your time and money, the 2 currencies that we trade all the time is what? Time and money. If you're gonna invest your time and money, what would you invest it in, right? So the first thing is always is in yourself, right? So you gotta invest in yourself, and we talk a lot about this with different videos as well too, is obviously besides paying yourself, is you gotta invest in what? Your education. Acquire new skills. Invest in how you can make yourself more productive by having great electronic devices that make you more productive, more organized, to make sure that you don't miss out on important news or you can access news better. I remember when I started, one of my great friend and mentor, and also a client, he became a client of mine, was he gave me a Palm Pilot. This is way back in the day before like the iPhone, right? It was the Palm Pilot, and that changed the way I think, and I was not just changed the way I think, but how I organize my day. And it was just a fun device to use to put, you have a to-do list, and then you have a calendar list, right? But now our phone does it all, right? And so that is really, really important. Find ways to invest in yourself. In another way to personalize this is, how are you spending your free time, right? Are you using that time to network with your peers, right? in your associations that you want to belong to. You're more involved on campus because heck, you're paying so much money to be part of a great learning institution. Why not take full advantage of everything that's available to you, right? All its resources and then some student discounts. Invest in yourself in a manner that you're applying for scholarships, right? That you are looking for ways for you to monetize your knowledge, right? Let's say you have you're really good at accounting. You can start to, like volunteer at a nonprofit, right? To build relationships that way, to do their accounting or help them with their books or their fundraiser, whatever it is, right? Apply yourself, right? All of these things are for us to invest in ourselves. Think of it this way. Like, let's use Amazon as a great example, right? Because they invest in themselves for what, like 10 plus years. The company was negative every year. They had no profits because they were taking everything that they were making and investing in themselves, in their company, in their infrastructure, in their people, in their brand, in their marketing, in their leadership. I mean, and the list goes on, right? And they delayed they were building their success. I wouldn't say they delayed, but I guess in a way you can look at it that way. But again, just like yourself, right? As a college student, that's what you're doing, is that you gotta be obsessed about how are you going to invest in yourself, right? And so that is a good example, like any startup company as well too. They go, on the verge of being broke, right? Tesla is another example, right? Just reinvesting in their R&D, reinvesting in how they can make their car more better in every way, right? To be marketable, to be attractive, and to deal with all the naysayers, etc. So there you go. That's why it's a great American success story. So that's the first I. The other I is one that I think a lot of people need to, well, it's an obvious one, and a lot of us are already doing it. But let me give emphasis to it, and it's investing in other people, right? It's also another I, it's investing your time and your money in other people. So let me ask you this, how's your relationship with the people that you surround yourself with often, right? That you're around often? Not necessarily surround yourself with, but like, let's say your schoolmates, right? How are you on campus? How are you at your job, your workplace, in your future career or the career that you want to be in? Are you networked, right? Are you being engaged in that community of, let's say you're a graphic designer. How are you in that community, right? Are you and the relationships with your friends, your colleagues, other professionals, other students, your professor, right? Really, really important. And it pays dividends. It's gotten to where I am today is I look back of the relationships that I've been able to build, cultivate, whatever words you want to use. It's added so much to my life. I've learned so much. Obviously, you can learn a lot from yourself and your own mistakes, but to good and bad, but you can learn so much others from other people as well too, especially when you're sharing ideas and you're collaborating. And all of that is, you gotta be a go-giver, right? Learn to give, learn to be a participant, to be a part of your community, and invest in other people, right? Like, hey, let me help you out with that. I would love to be a part of something, right? That's where you learn as well too. That's how some of the greatest venture starts, right? Like the Google, look at those two individuals, right? That started Google, Zuckerberg with his many roommates, right? So you never know where that will take you, especially when you're in a college setting and you're in a learning environment. People are there to learn. Find folks that share your values. Again, going back to personal finance, again, you drive your finances, right? Your values drive your goals, right? Your values drive everything. Don't let finances drive you. So it's important while you're in a learning environment for you to take advantage and invest in great relationships, right? Don't be a hermit crab where it's just about me, myself, and I, and that's it, right? Learn to be, try to be inclusive, like get out there, interact, right? Because you never know, through some interaction, there might be some synergistic effect where it's like 1 + 1 = 4, 5 or something, where you come up with a new idea, or you find someone that that you really hit it off with, that you can build something great together. So that's the magic of it. So, and not just that, but when you invest in other people, let's just say, I'll use a really fun example, is like, let's say you have a friend at Disneyland, right, back in the day, or some theme park where, hey, you call them up and you're good friends, they can give you a discount or get you free passes, or they can hook you up with a concert, or they can introduce you to other people, right? Like, that's one example, because you have a great relationship with them, or you're part of an association, and because of that, you get discounts, you get access to certain events, right, that normal people don't have access to, or because you invest in someone and they introduce you to somebody else, right? Like, it's just, I guess the word investment kind of sounds like it's if it's so, it's all monetary, but beyond that, again, I'm not talking about just the money aspect, but beyond that, emotional support. But it's just good for you to make investments that really build you, right, at the end of the day. So, and obviously building you will build your finances, will build a good foundation for your finances, right? So all of it, again, we're a holistic being, right? If you are healthy, if you're positive, if you're someone who's very organized, all of these things help your personal finance. So, and the third thing is, it's very obvious, and that's in assets and equities, right? Invest in assets and equities. And assets can be taking an online course where you acquire new skill, new knowledge, right? In my opinion, there you go, creating like NFTs or whatever these things are very unique that you can sell intellectual property and content that may be valuable. So those things are, again, that can be an asset as well too, because now this thing is being viewed, right? You can get ads for it, and obviously this channel's, I'm not doing this to generate income or selling affiliate links or anything like that, but if that's your thing, then you can do that. You can monetize your knowledge, right? And your skill set or talent. So that's a way, right? Assets, equities, you can invest in the stock market. I always encourage people to start passively, right? Invest in the stock market passively, buying index funds. Don't do it actively where you're trying to be a stock trader. That just, like 99.9% of people they don't win there. But just buying passively, if you have extra money, just put it in the market, buy the index, right? And just leave it there. Don't even worry. Again, take Warren Buffett's advice. Just buy the S&P index. You can buy the SPY. Vanguard's got a fund. I'm not endorsing any of these, but do your own research. It's so important to think about that, where again, you're building value for yourself as well too. So going back, so the pi formula is P plus I to the power of 3. And so if you kind of think P plus I, and then there's the 3 part, it spells out pi. So just remember that now, that as you share this with your friend, or think this for yourself is, I got to follow the pi formula. The pi formula is very easy. Hey, am I paying myself? Am I investing in myself? Am I investing in others? Am I investing in assets and equities, right? Very simple. That will get you to, and if you don't understand what these things are, well, it's going to get you to learn. But for you to really master your finances, it comes back to this formula, these points that I just shared. It's absolutely essential, because that's going to be the basis of which you will continue to build upon. I mean, even today, name me anybody who's already made it and they're not paying themselves first, that they're not investing in themselves more, right? They're not investing in other people more, right? As they grow their influence, and they're not investing in assets and equities more, right? It's just something that we do all the time. And it's something really important that part of, the month of financial literacy, I want to throw this out there. This form that I created to get people to understand, part of being financially literate is that I need to apply the pi formula so I can learn personal finance, so I can build a foundation for myself, so I can get started right away. And again, speaking of getting started, we have our own private community that you can join, right? We have tools and resources that's created for you. And of course, I'm doing workshops too, and there'll be more information about that at Cal State Fullerton. So there's a lot of good things that I'm making myself available. It's something that I'm very passionate about. It's my way of paying it forward, and I cannot see it any other way, because again, I'm so blessed and I have all this knowledge and experience and ideas. So it's a good way for me to flesh it out and put it out there, right? And so everybody can benefit. Hopefully with that, I hope you enjoyed this video and you get the pi formula and you can apply it to your learning and to build out your personal finance. Please like, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you so much.